Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, great to see you guys here at our coordinates meeting. Really appreciate all of you being here. I think I got a chance to say hi to most folks before the meeting. I know I missed some of you. Apologies for that, but I'll definitely catch you on the way out. I'll be over here at this door. So yeah, if you want to chat, I'll be over here. If you don't, go out that door, and you don't even have to see me. So, but definitely thanks for being here today. We're gonna go ahead and kick the meeting off. I just got some opening remarks, so bear with me. But one of the things I wanted to try to relay to the group was that, you know, as we were putting talking points together for this meeting, one of the things that occurred to me was we would probably, I'd say we would not be having this meeting, this venue, kind of this format of, you know, some maintenance people, some operations people, we got a few admin people here. We would not be having this type of meeting really without everyone in this room and without all of the Embark employees that provided feedback on the various surveys that we've done that basically said, hey, we want to hear more about what's going on within the organization. We want to hear what's going on more frequently and try to change it up a little bit on how that information is delivered. So as a management team, we took that seriously, and we tried to come up with a format or a venue in addition to some of the other communication efforts that we've put forth to really try to keep everybody informed. So that's part of the reason for this meeting. The other thing I wanted to just kick us off with is thinking about the roadmap. You guys all have the maps in front of you. This is our employee-driven transformation plan. We'll get into it a little bit later in the meeting. Hopefully some of you have been involved in some of the projects. But, you know, when we launched the roadmap 10 months ago, there were some comments that I made to the group that I think are still relevant today. And I wanted to kind of ask the same question I asked 10 months ago and just pose this to the group to think about how vastly different our service delivery has changed, right? Over the last year, would most in the room, you can give me a raised hand, give me a head nod, whatever. Has it changed the way we do business? I mean, just look around. We've changed the way we've done business, right? Right. But here's the thing, this is what I hope we dwell on, is we have changed the way we've done business, right? We've overcome some challenges. I'd say a lot of challenges, actually. But we've done that. How have we done that? We've done that, in my mind, and I hope in your mind too, we have done that by looking out for each other and by looking out for our customers, right? I mean, I know you guys have all looked out for each other. You had to. So here's the deal. What do we have to take from that? Overcoming these challenges, looking out for each other, looking out for our customers, doing the right thing. 3 things come to mind. 1, we have not missed a day of transit service, right? Not missed a day. That's a really big deal, right? Good for you guys. Good for you guys. That is a really, really big deal. We know better than any in our community how our customers count on us, right? I mean, they count on us. Most of the people that use our service, they have very few, if any, other options of getting around our city. So we've done it for the customers, but we've also done it in a way by being there every single day. That's what a public transit agency is supposed to do, right? That's resiliency. We have demonstrated resiliency to our community, and in my mind, that resiliency translates to being relevant, right? Why do we want to be relevant? Well, we want to be part of the fabric of Oklahoma City. We are part of the fabric of Oklahoma City. We're relevant, we're there, we're every day providing the transportation that our community needs. So that's one thing, and the others are much shorter. So the second thing I wanted to think about is we have probably the cleanest facilities and equipment, and granted, it's a challenge keeping up with the cleanliness, but I hope we would agree we have the cleanest facilities and equipment that we've had in quite some time maybe in forever. If there's any people from the service crew here or that work cleaning the facilities, you know, everybody's done their part, but you guys have done a really, really good job. Freddie, I see you back there. I see you. So thank you. And then the other thing, and I think this is near and dear to probably all of us, is as an organization, we've been here. We haven't had any layoffs, right? I mean, we're all still employed. We're all still doing what it is that we're supposed to do in providing transit in Oklahoma City. And in fact, you're going to hear later, but I mean, we're growing. We still need to hire more people, right? So particularly bus operators. So if you know folks that want to become involved in public transit, we need bus operators. So those are the three things that I would really just kind of have you dwell on. So the purpose of this meeting, again, is to keep you all informed. We are going to have some required anti-discrimination, anti-harassment training at the end of this meeting because, hey, let's face it, if we're going to exhibit our core values of being there, our core values of being kind, those kinds of things have no place in our organization, right? No harassment, no discrimination. Goes against our core values. That is not what we're about. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Jesse to talk a little bit about the coordinates meeting specifically. And thanks again. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon. So like Jason said, this is our coordinates all hands meeting, right? So when you think all hands, like you see in the movies when they say all hands on deck, what does that mean to you guys, right? So that means everybody's coming together to get together to hear what's going on, right? So that's what we're doing. So you've got ops, you've got maintenance, you got admin staff, all in one room, all in one meeting to hear what the agency's doing, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. When you think of coordinates, what do you think of, right? So GPS coordinates, you think of like a specific point, right? So for this meeting, coordinates means a specific point in time, right? So we're going on our journey of trying to improve Embark as a whole, and this meeting is a part of that journey. So this coordinates meeting, this specific point in time, is a part of that journey, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about the roadmap now, and Suzanne's going to talk about that.
Yes, thanks, Jesse. So today what we want to do is just make sure we're all grounded in the foundation of the roadmap. So we're going to just do a quick zip through on our vision, our mission, our initiatives. But the majority of our time will be focused on giving you updates on what the project teams have been up to. So you may or may not have seen, but there's been a lot of work that's been done this last 10 months working on some projects. So we'll share those updates with you. We also want to take an opportunity to acknowledge and recognize some of our employees. Some of you are even in this room today. So we'll have a little video for you on that. But speaking of acknowledgements, I do want to make sure we acknowledge the people that worked really hard to put this event together. So a lot of them are congregated back over here, but we've got Lisa and Heather and Tisha. We've also got Lloyd. Not only is he running our sound today and our camera equipment, which is awesome, he also, you'll see some videos, he was responsible for filming those and editing them. So he is wearing a lot of hats to help make our coordinates event happen. So let's just thank them with a little round of applause. It sounds better than waterfall, I guess was the other sound we had going on. So this next slide here is going to be a video from the mayor of Oklahoma City. And as you can imagine, our mayor has a lot of obligations. A lot of people ask him for different things, but he really wanted to record a message for Embark employees to share with you the importance of public transportation to him personally. So let's watch a video from Mayor Holt.
Hi, I'm David Holt, the mayor of Oklahoma City and proud COTPA trustee. First of all, thank you so much. You have all each been on the front lines of this pandemic in what has been a unique and challenging year and a half. Our whole community owes you a debt of gratitude for your service over this time period. And I know we're not out of it yet. And you're still coming to work and you're still moving our people around this city, connecting them with jobs, connecting them with doctor's appointments, doing the things that make a city function. We couldn't do it without you, without our public transit system. So thank you for that. And now more than ever, people in Oklahoma City appreciate public transit. I hope you can sense that. You know, over the last 15 years, time and time again, our residents are beginning to invest in public transit. Obviously, MAPS 3 brought the streetcar system. MAPS 4 is adding almost another $100 million in transit investments, including 2 bus rapid transit lines. And then, of course, we are already engaged in a new bus rapid transit line going up Classen and Northwest Expressway. These are exciting times for transit in Oklahoma City. We're a city that is famously built around the automobile, but more and more, this community wants to have great public transit, and you're a part of that. You are a part of that team that is bringing those awesome new options to the people of Oklahoma City. So thank you for what you've done during this pandemic. Thank you for what you do to provide great public transit to our residents, and will continue to do in the months and years ahead. And I am proud to stand side by side with you in that important work. Thank you.
So Mayor Holt, he actually, he does what he says, right? So he's a big proponent of public transit. He was actually very, very instrumental in getting many of the MAPS 4 projects or transit projects into MAPS 4. Like he said, they include two more BRT routes, plus additional bus shelters, plus additional buses to increase service and microtransit. So a lot of good projects coming forward in the MAPS 4. But he also is a big public transit enthusiast too. So there's a lot of times he'll get out there, he'll help promote public transit on Twitter. So really, really appreciate Mayor Holt doing that for us, getting that video together. But real quick, we're going to talk about safety, right? So I'm going to be like your stewardess real quick. So we have emergency exits over the wings to your left and to your right. We also have emergency exits to the rear of the plane. If there is a fire or evacuation, please exit the building to the north. There is a flagpole out front. We'll all gather there. As we're all running out, Lisa or Heather will grab the sign-in sheet and we'll make sure that everybody makes it out safely, and we'll check everybody off, right? But real quick, so we've got a video coming up next from our very own Byron. So I would like, so he's sitting in the back. Let's make sure we call him out. So after you see the video, everybody's going to want to get an autograph. So we can just make sure that the line forms around this way, so we can try to keep any fire hazards or anything. But let's go ahead and jump to that video with Byron.
Hello, folks. This is Byron Richmond, training analyst at Embark. Let's talk safety, especially heat-related safety. I know, right? The dog days of summer are here. August is one of the hottest months in Oklahoma, but there are a few things we can do to beat the heat. How about wearing loose fitting clothing, light colored clothing that can reflect the sun? If you're going to be working in direct sunlight, how about a large hat or at least a cap to protect your skin and your face? How about sunscreen? If you're going to be working directly in the sun and you're not wearing long sleeve shirts, how about a little sunscreen? Even if you have darker skin, you can still sunburn. One more thing, we need to remain hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids, plenty of water always helps. Now, nothing is foolproof, folks, and we know that. So what happens? What if you start feeling nauseated, headaches, confusion, even diarrhea, cold, clammy sweats? All those symptoms are signs that you may be having a heat stroke. Well, what should you do? Come out of the elements, come out of the heat immediately, stop the activity that you were doing, and get help. Listen, if we all pull together, we can get through the dog days of summer in Oklahoma safely. Remember, a planned day makes a safe day. Thanks for your time.
Woo-woo! Yeah! Yeah. Now, real quick, so I did want to point out that I was eavesdropping earlier. I heard that Byron did this in one take with no script. What? Yeah, right? I mean, how can we even compete with that? I carry my script with me, all right?
In November, we launched our roadmap and we had different launch parties. And hopefully if you were employed at Embark at that time, you got to attend one. We had a lot of fun that day. And then we started forming project teams and working on different projects within the roadmap. So one of those has launched the Stoke Storyteller program. That is a part of the roadmap. That's one of the projects that has been a direct result of the roadmap project. But we've also have a website, theroadmap.us. It's a place you can go find all kinds of information about the roadmap, as well as information about benefits and the EAP program, things like that. So we've done a lot of things, but we have a lot more to do, everyone, a lot more to do. So today we're going to focus on what projects are currently going on. But before we do that, we're going to have Jason talk to us about our vision and our mission, just to make sure that we have the basic foundations down on the roadmaps.
So hopefully this vision should be familiar to most of you, maybe the brand new folks in the back, but if not, we'll get to it. So who remembers what a vision is? Anybody want to be brave? What's a vision? Yep, there we go. So a vision, right, is a goal, but it's a little bit more than a goal. It is an aspirational goal, right? So it's a goal that we are working towards. It's not easily achievable, and it's probably something we'll be working on together as a team for a very, very long time. So our vision is all about our long-term aspirational goal for our organization. So now, so we don't have to hear crickets again, who is going to read the vision? Okay, cue the crickets. Well, you got, all right, here we go. All right, give it a shot.
Embark will be a world-class transportation that is accessible to all and all want to access it.
All right, great. Good job, good job. So right, lofty goal, world class, accessible to all want to access our services. All right, next one is mission. And the mission is a little bit more detailed. The mission starts getting into how we're going to achieve that lofty goal that's a vision. So one more volunteer to read the mission statement, please. All right, Latonya.
Embark's mission is to be a self-sustaining transportation network that removes barriers of location and socioeconomic status, while elevating the status and use of public transportation so all of Central Oklahoma can safely and quickly reach their destination.
All right, good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope y'all can get behind that mission. Paraphrase, removing barriers and elevating the status and use of public transportation.
So these are our 3 initiatives. So Jason mentioned our vision is this high 10-year out, big aspirational ideal. But how do we get there if we just start and say that's where we want to go and we have no plan of like how to break that down and how we're going to get there? We're going to be lost. So the initiatives are where we kind of start breaking that down a little bit and more granularity, if you will, kind of eating that elephant one bite at a time. So what we've done is we've broken it into 3. One of them's employee focused, one of them's customer focused, and one's policymaker focused. Over on the left, the blue one, creating a great place to work. That's a big part of how we're going to achieve our vision, is making this a great place to work for everyone. In the middle, we've got our customer-focused one, enhance the status, use, and understanding of our services. And then the third one is our policymaker initiative, preserve the confidence of the board, city, and RTA. And so what you'll notice is we've got employees represented, customers, and policymakers. What happens if we take any one of those out of the equation? We don't have service. If we don't have customers, we're delivering service to nobody. If we don't have employees, we have no one to deliver the service. And then if we don't have policymakers to help fund this and get the backing that we need in the community, we don't have any way to pay for things. So we really wanted to make sure we had a balanced approach to our initiatives, that we represented each one of those stakeholders because they're all very critical to the success of Embark and the growth that we have. So this is how we're taking that vision and kind of just narrowing it down. If you think of it like a satellite view, and we're starting to kind of come into a little bit more granularity of the landscape. So with our initiatives, we also have to talk about our culture. So I'm going to hand it over to Jesse to talk about that.
Yeah, so our core values, right? So we all know our core values, the acronym STOK, right? S-T-O-K, be safe, be there, be open, and be kind. But what does that mean to you guys? So be safe. Byron, can you give us an example of what being safe means to you?
Well, for me, it starts when you walk out your front door. You can look for tripping hazards, whether it's in your yard, in your driveway. When you get here, it's part of your pre-trip. It's part of it should be your daily routine if you're in the shop. Any falling hazards, anything tripping hazards in the way, any spills. So it's just a constant state of being aware. That's what it means to me.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Byron. Dino, what about being there? What does that mean to you, man?
Being there to me is looking to see if someone needs help. Even just going overboard to make sure everything is successful and we keep moving forward, working together.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Carrie, be open. What does that mean to you?
Just always being open to new ideas, possibilities, just being there for anything that can come about.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Then my favorite, be kind. Marilyn, I know it's also your favorite.
Well, technically, I say to be kind and green. I think is my favorite color. It's always kind of short for me. The main thing behind these is you're approaching everything as though the person that you're trying to assist, trying to work with, trying to help is you. You want to treat everyone the way you would like to be treated, the way you get my customer level. You know, if you're a fair trade shopper, you want our customers to be treated like we treat others. And they're on this side. That was your wife trying to be on the husband's baby. He's going to be kind and assist. And he feel better if you, when they like this. We got
Awesome, thank you. Appreciate everybody reading those.
All right, so this is our roadmap in visual format. So everyone has at your table a copy of the roadmap. And just a reminder, so last November we launched the roadmap, and we're wanting this to be a resource for everybody to know what is the roadmap, what is our vision, because we know you're not going to have it memorized the first time you hear it. You got to have something to refer back to. So what we have for you today is a little bit of interactive activity. So if you take out your roadmap, what we've done here, instead of keeping it on a phone, like your GPS coordinates going to Google to figure out where you're going, we went old school. We went back to the OG map here, right? The map that you have folded up in your glove box. So everyone should recognize a folded map because we've all been there and done that, right? So unfold it now. We're going to turn it over to this side, and I'm just going to walk you through where the different pieces of the roadmap are in the map because it's important to know how to read your map if you're going somewhere, right? So here in the center, the dead center of everything is our vision. And there's a reason it's in the center, and that's because our vision has to be the center of everything that we do, every decision that we're making about projects that we're going to work on and opportunities that we're going to go after. It's got to be focused on our vision. If it doesn't support it, we don't want to spend our time on that. So we have the vision right in the center of the map. And then here on the top left is in green, our mission statement, which we read off earlier. And then throughout the map, you'll find our 3 initiatives. So these are represented by map or by routes, so you're going to see them throughout the map. So right here on the left panel, we have our blue one, which is our employee initiative. And then right here in the middle, kind of to the right, is the yellow the customer-focused initiative. And our red one is on the bottom right. Next time I'm going to get me a Vanna White to help me hold the map. But it's, okay, we got to give it up for Vanna White here. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so those are our 3 initiatives, and over here in the bottom right is our legend. So the legend will tell you what does the yellow route mean, what does the blue route mean, et cetera. And so it'll tell you those are our 3 initiatives that I just pointed out. And then you'll notice that each one of those routes has an arrow. It's pointing somewhere. And if you follow the line around, you see all 3 of them are pointing to the center, which is our vision. And so on those routes, we have buses. We have yellow, blue, and red buses. That means that we've got buses out on the road working on projects. You'll also notice we have some buses that are pulled off. That means we haven't yet departed the yard, the grid, or the TC, for example. If we haven't yet departed yet, that means our projects are not actually active just yet. And then you'll notice throughout the map, there's some bus stops. If you piece the letters together, pretty clever, spells embark. So, yeah. Let's turn it over, if you will, Jesse. I'll quit calling you Vanna. So here in the middle panel, these are our 6 projects that we're starting out with the roadmap. And so in this employee focus column here, we've got 2 projects that are currently active, represented by bus stop E and bus stop A. And then in the center here in the yellow, we've got bus stop M. Those are our 3 active projects. So if you turn the map over one more time, let's look for bus stop E, A, and M and make sure we can find where we're going on the map. So these are buses, again, like you're out on the road picking up passengers. That's what these buses are doing. They're out on the road working on projects, and they're approaching their bus stops. So we've got bus stop M here at the top. And then if you go over, we'll call it going east over here, we've got embark stop E, which is our communication project, and then go straight south and you've got A. So there's our bus stops for our current projects that we have in motion. Jesse, you want to take the next activity for the group?
All right, one more flip. Let's get back to this page. So like any journey, any long journey, right? There may be detours or you may need to make some adjustments. So we are going to make some adjustments on our map. This is a craft project, everyone. We do not have safety scissors. However, we do have stickers. All right, everyone take your stickers out. All right, you should have a Stoke Storyteller sticker. You should have a Bus Stop E, a Bus Stop A, and a Bus Stop M sticker. So what we're going to do is we're going to update our roadmap with our stickers. So these just have backing that peels off, and we're going to replace our bus stops on the roadmap, right? So your Bus Stop M sticker will lay over your Bus Stop M on your roadmap. All right, so let's go ahead and do this craft project. It is a contest. Whoever gets it done fastest will win nothing other than bragging rights. Let's go ahead and get started. Whoever gets it done first, just yell bingo. We also have Letitia and Heather going around to make sure that if you have any questions or need any help getting it updated, we can get that done.
Just to point out too, some of these projects, even the team names have changed. And so these stickers are so that you know what those mile markers are, who the team leaders are, and the description of the project's been fine-tuned. So we have formed a team. Actually, this week, it's been 1 year, this team, the Navigator team, has been meeting. They started out once a week, and then they transitioned to every other week. But they've been meeting for a year now, and we've got a list of who the navigators are on the screen here. And we've also had it on our message board, so hopefully you're familiar with the concept of the Navigator and what they're up to. But I'll just briefly share. Navigators are really there, kind of as their title says, they're there to help you navigate the roadmap. If you've got questions, if you've got concerns even, or don't understand maybe how a project's fitting in with the roadmap or who's on the team, that kind of thing, navigators are there to help you. And so we've got people from all different parts of our organization on the Navigator team, so we're trying to make sure they're accessible to everybody. We've got supervisors, we've got maintenance employees, we have bus operators. So just a whole wide variety of people are serving as navigators. And in fact, we think we have, how many do we have in the room? I know we've got Lisa. Is there any other navigator I'm missing? You're pointing to somebody. All right, well, she must have stepped out, but Liz Thompson, I think, is here. She's a navigator. So let's thank you, navigators, for all your help this past year now. So if you have questions, those are people you can go to and ask questions to about the roadmap. So we've got them out in the field working. Let's get started, though, diving right into our project. So we just updated your maps with stickers that have new information about the 3 projects that we're working on. So we wanted to highlight those for you today. And so our first one is the implement a complete organizational message management system. Sounds pretty fancy. It's COMS for short. So we've got an acronym so you don't have to remember the whole project name. Let me just lay out how this project works in terms of our format on mile markers and deliverables. So you know how we've taken this big, lofty 10-year goal of our vision and we're narrowing it down. So now that the projects kind of get it even more granular. So how are we going to make it create a great place to work? Well, we're going to focus on communication. This is something that on this survey, the employees told us was very important to them, was the communication, that we do better at communicating. So therefore, we have a project focused on communication. And so with a project, you have to break a project down even smaller. So we're getting tinier and tinier here. And so they've got 2 mile markers. And if you think about a mile marker, that's sort of like on the highway when you're going on a trip. Your trip can be broken down into different mile markers, and it kind of gives you a gauge of where you're at. So these are just like large tasks within the project that need to get done in order for the project to be completed. So for the COMS project, there's 2 major mile markers. There's implement dynamic employee communication tools and launch employee HR portal. So let's hear from the team a little bit more about this project.
9 months ago, Embark employees set out on a journey to transform the organization. Our guide for this journey is the roadmap. So far, 3 routes have been identified to help us accomplish our vision and reach our destination. The routes are known as create a great place to work, enhance the status, use, and understanding of our service, and preserve the confidence of the board, city, and RTA. Each route will have several projects or mile markers. Earlier this month, I sat down with journey planners and team members to learn more about the roadmap's active projects that are en route. The first route, Create a Great Place to Work, has 2 buses en route for employee communication and 1 for inclusive culture. First up is CALM Project, led by Dennis Fry, Dan McKeon, Lisa Hubble, and other employees. Let's watch together.
What is the name of your project?
The name of our project is COMM, C-O-M-M, Complete Organization Message Management. And thank you, Marilyn Dillon. She was the creator of our name.
Why is this project important to Embark?
The project team was designed and created to organize and have a consistent internal communication strategy focused on the feedback that we got from the Great Places to Work survey and some other surveys that we did.
Would you introduce your team for us?
Sure, God, there's several of them. We have Marilyn Dillon, Megan Henderson, Jared Early, Kim Brown, Dave Asbury, David Cram, Candy Wilson, Laura Miller, myself, Dennis Fry, and not to be forgotten, Mike Shaw.
What are the deliverables for this project?
Yes, to communicate, that the communication is upfront, it's frequent, and it's informative. Through the survey, we were hearing that we didn't communicate enough. We were told that we were tardy in our communication piece, meaning customers were hearing about things that were going on at Embark before our operators and our supervisors.
Tell us about your achievements so far.
So far, we have implemented the News Stop that comes out through a text link every weekend to give you lots of updates about what's going on all around the world of Embark. We do an email notification, so everyone that's provided us with an email address will get email updates. We also have the electronic message board, so anywhere you look up in our buildings, you'll be able to see what's going on in the moment.
What is your project's plan over the next 6 months?
Oh my God, there's several, but let me just touch on 4. One of them is the revamped bulletin board system, which will be each board is identified and will have its own content. We have the online library of documents, so you can go in and get any document that Embark has. We have the online employee self-service system, and we have e-forms that are accessible from work, home, or your iPhone. But I think the last 3 is really an effort for us to streamline the way we run our business and reduce all the duplicate efforts internally and through paper flow.
You know, robust two-way communication is essential for a healthy organization. That's why our employee surveys are so important. But one-on-one chats are even better. I'd like to encourage you to be open by reaching out to a colleague, supervisor, a navigator, or a new employee. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek out information. Sometimes it's right in front of you.
All right, that is Ty Hawley, our graphic design specialist. Isn't she a fabulous talk show host? She's not here today, but I think a round of applause is still in order, don't you guys think? Okay, before I dive into the mile markers, I know Marilyn's present on the project team. Is there anyone else in the room that's on the comms project team? All right, well, just because we love clapping, let's hear it for Marilyn and others on the project team for their contributions working on the comms project. So what we have here is a dashboard, all right? So it's difficult to keep track of all the different things that are happening at Embark. So we wanted a way to do that for you where you could see exactly what we have accomplished with the roadmap. Because we know, as Jason mentioned at the beginning, like there's a lot to this, there's a lot of opportunity, but like we have to deliver. We are committed to delivering results, that the roadmap is not something that's just plastered on our wall. It's actually something we're like living and breathing, working on every day. And so what we've got is a dashboard for you. And the way this works is that each of the mile markers that have been mentioned to you are broken down into what's called deliverables. And basically that means, Sharon, for example, you're going to see this deliverable as a tangible benefit as an employee. It's something you'll actually be able to see, and it's not like hidden away in some document library or something. It's tangible, something you can actually see. And so for our Implement Dynamic Employee Communication Tool mile marker, there are several deliverables listed here. The green means that it's completed. So we wanted to have a status for you to know, where is this bus at on the route? So if it's green, it means it's arrived at that stop. The blue means it's en route. So the bus is moving down the road. Things are happening, but it's not finished yet. And then our red is holding. So that means it's coming, but we haven't started on it yet. So we've got these 3 different statuses for each of these deliverables. So now you know on your dashboard where we're at with all of our projects by looking at this. And this will be on our roadmap website too. So you don't have to memorize it all today, but we're just going to share this with you real quick. So there are 4 that have already been completed with this project. So they've been making really good progress. We are officially our new stop that we send out every week, and everyone in this room should be getting it through a text message on your phone. You get a link, and you can keep up with everything going on at Embark. There's important safety updates in the new stop, so that's done. That has arrived. Then we share timely updates using digital messaging boards. hopefully you haven't missed the digital messaging boards in the different workspaces because they're always playing videos and slides. And we have those going in Norman once they get their new building. So we'll have that for all of our employees. And then we've also implemented employee text and email notifications. As you can imagine, everyone's kind of in a lot of different places, so it's hard to get information out to everybody at the same time. So that's why we started using text messaging and emailing so we can get it to every employee, the information that we have to share. And then the hosting biannual employee events, that's what this is. This is a twice a year thing we're going to be doing every August and every February. We will have coordinates meetings going forward. And this is based on, again, feedback from you that you wanted to know more about what the company has going on. En route is revamping and establishing facility bulletin board systems. So that's something that they're working on right now. And then the second mile marker is launch employee HR portal. So this is a project to basically create an intranet site, kind of one-stop shop to look for policies, procedures, forms, benefits information. Because right now it's kind of in different places and you have to send in an HR help desk ticket to find out where stuff is. Well, we're going to fix that and have it all in one place. So that's what this project's focused on. They've started working on it. It's a very large project, as you can imagine. So launching the employee document library is a big part of that. So that is in queue.
Continuing on our Create a Great Place to Work initiative, we've got Bus Stop A. And Bus Stop A has 3 mile markers, right? So it's got implement employee recognition and celebration programs, implement a career planning program, and routinely seek employee feedback. We've also got a video for this initiative and this bus stop, so let's take a look at that real quick.
Next up is Employee Engagement Team. This is the Inclusive Culture Bus. Long trips where true transformation take place require a positive outlook. Otherwise, the trip can be tedious. Let's hear what they have to say.
Why is this project important to Embark?
This project team was designed to address concerns from the Best Places to Work survey. Our goal was to engage our employees and move it from a nice place to work to a great place to work. We listened to our employees, gained an understanding of issues, and developed a plan to take action on what mattered most to our employees.
Can you introduce your project team?
The project team consists of Deonda Browder, Debbie Lucas, Tyler Martin, Edwin Seda, Fritz Eldridge, Amanda Shea, Mike Shaw, Lisa Hubble, and me, Dennis Fry, plus other employees that provided input to the group.
What are the deliverables for this project?
I am so glad you asked that, Ty. This project team has produced 3 really great projects. The first one, which was rolled out in February, is the Stoke Storyteller Program. And that's a peer-to-peer recognition. So that's employees recognizing other employees. And the way they do it is they fill out those cards that you've seen around headquarters and other facilities, and they nominate their fellow employees for exhibiting our core values. Be safe, be open, be there, be kind. And then we are so proud of our next achievement, which is the Embark Legend Program. So this program was just rolled out on August 1st, but it's retroactive to July 1st. And every quarter, we're going to recognize 5 employees from 5 different sections in the organization for their great contributions and exhibiting that core behavior. So this quarter, the core value that we're focusing on is being open. So this is where supervisors are recognizing their employees. And then the great thing about it is after the supervisors make their nominations, then the employee committee actually narrows the nominations down to 3 from each section. And then our senior leaders or executive leaders, the director and assistant directors, they select an employee from each section. And that involves a lot of really great prizes. There is a gift card as well as a day off and lunch with that executive team. And then the third initiative that we have is employee appreciation events. The first one was our employee picnic, and we were so sad when we had to postpone that due to this COVID spike. So we're really hoping over the next couple of weeks we can keep the momentum going with little mini events, and we're hoping that we can reschedule this in October. But we also will be having a winter event as well as in March, on March 18th, which is Transit Appreciation Day.
Wonderful. What is your project's plan over the next 6 months?
Be on the lookout for the first 5 legends coming out in October. In December, we'll be having a holiday party at the TC with Santa Claus. Be on the lookout for special events and pricing for events that will be opportunities coming up. And last but not least, we just did our survey, our 2021 survey. We'll be coming out with the results for it, and then we will be developing more teams to address concerns within that survey.
I like where they are going. The Stokes Storyteller and new Embark Legends program make this journey even better. When we celebrate one another and together, we're creating new experiences that will become part of our forever memories. I am challenging you to submit at least one Stokes Storyteller card this week. It's simple and the cards are everywhere. We can do it.
You know, this project's got 3 mile markers, and it's all about changing the culture, right? So there's been surveys that went out, and many of the surveys said, hey, we want to get more employee recognition, right? So now there's mile markers that are leading toward that. We wanted to be able to, employees were saying, we want to be able to get together more often, right? So we tried to do the employee picnic. Unfortunately, it got postponed. Very disappointed because I was going to get to be in the dunk tank. But there is another opportunity. We'll figure something out, right? We'll make sure we still get to do that picnic. There are other projects going on, right? So the horseshoe contest. Anybody want to give me a run for my money? I'm pretty good at getting things close to right. So we can definitely do the horseshoe contest. Let's take a look at the mile markers real quick. So routinely seek employee feedback, right? So that's the mile marker. Some of the projects under that. Conduct best place to work, all employees survey annually, right? So operators and maintenance staff that have been coming to the quarterly meetings, been driving that point home. Make sure you take that best places to work survey. So we've wrapped that up. So the next item there, share results from annual survey with all employees, right? So we're 5% complete of gathering that information. So it's actually a third-party survey. So we're waiting to get all those results in, get them tabulated so we can get those out to the employees. And then seek feedback from employees through short surveys on specific topics, right? So we've figured out how to do the survey. We've got it right. So now we want to make sure that we're reaching out to you guys and getting input from everyone, right? So you're going to see more and more surveys coming out. Please be sure to fill those surveys out so we can get that feedback, right? Otherwise, we're going to drag you into all these meetings, and then we're just going to sit here and go around. Give us some feedback, right? So make sure you're doing the survey so we can get that feedback. Next milestone, implement recognition and celebration programs. Launch the Stokes Storyteller, right? So that's 100% complete. You guys have seen that project roll out. You've started seeing some of the bracelets getting handed out. Launch Employee of the Quarter or the Year program. That's 100% launched, right? So you're going to start seeing more and more of that coming out. And then host annual employee appreciation events. So we talked about that, 50% complete. We're going to keep working on those picnics, getting those out there so we can break bread together. Launch employee achievements program, so we're 50% complete there. I'm going to keep working toward that. Holding on the launch employee discount events. We're working to get that rolling as soon as possible. And the next mile marker, implement a career planning program, right? So survey employee interest and promotional opportunities. Right? Everybody wants to keep improving, right? So we want to make sure that we're providing that information to you guys, and then launch the job profile video library. So we're holding on that, hoping to get that rolling as soon as possible so we can start developing that job library, really be able to tell what each job does and how to be able to roll into those positions. So any questions about the bus stop A before we move on? All right, awesome.
All right, well, let's switch routes. We were on the Create a Great Place to Work route. Now we're on the Enhance the Status, Use, and Understanding of Our Services route. We're at Bus Stop M, create an employee pledge or a standard of conduct. Bus Stop M is comprised of 3 mile markers. You can see them there on the slide, but let's check out a video first.
Finally, have you ever thought about what it means to be an Embark employee? For me, it means showing up and being able to collaborate with amazing coworkers and serve our community. With this next team, we're switching routes and bus. As shown on your roadmap, the yellow route is for enhancing the status, use, and understanding of our services. Let's check out what they've been working on.
What is your project called?
Well, this project originally was called Team Creed, and we have since changed it to Team Pledge after a couple of our committee meetings and our feedback.
Why is this project important to our agency?
We basically did kind of like a deep dive into what was previously existing, and we only found a creed for bus operators. And because we are essentially everybody's customer, you're my customer, I'm your customer, we thought it would be a good idea to kind of like develop a standard for all employees, which is how the pledge came along. And then it also supports Embark's core values, which we think are important to uphold.
Can you introduce your team for us?
Our team includes the Journey Planners, Kristen Torkelson and Eugene Fritz, Jeff Gray, Lucinda Murdoch, Leon Williams, Bryce Bolware, Lucas Etheridge, Megan Nisley, Patricia Gawley, Sandy Shapiro, Patricia Lambert, John Caldwell, and Tyler Martin. When we would meet, we made sure to do 2 meetings per day to accommodate people's various schedules, such as the operators and the people who work in the shop, who work in evenings.
Wonderful. What are the deliverables of your team?
There's going to be recognition, employee appreciation, prizes, and swag.
What can employees expect from this project?
So we came up with a pledge, so we have 2 of them. So we worked, so like Megan said, we had 2 meetings each time we met. So we had met with the day crew and the evening crew. And we came up with 2 pledges where the employees will get the vote.
What is your project plan for the next 6 months?
You can be on the lookout for the voting days, which will happen the end of September. And then November 1st, we will announce the winning pledge and launch this internally, and then publicly launch it after that.
That man's future is bright. But seriously, that's some cool stuff. Having an employee pledge that we can all rally around is exactly what we and our customers need. Those are all the project updates we have today. As always, reach out to any of our navigators or project team members with questions. Don't forget to visit theroadmap.us for the latest updates and news on the roadmap. See you soon.
And thank you, Ty. Yeah, she does. She does a great job. You know, I noticed there were a lot of names on this list of project team members. Is anybody here in this meeting, was your name on the list? Are you involved in it? Tyler, you're involved in there? Very good. Anybody else? All right. So thank you for your involvement. Thank you for representing the employees on that project. And in case we missed anyone else that was listed, because I think we might have missed recognizing some other names. Is there anybody that we missed that was involved in any of the other projects?
Yes, we did, Jason. Lisa Hubble. I completely forgot to call her out and recognize her.
Oh, there she is back there, hiding in the back. All right, but we found her. Good job. Good eye, Jesse. All right, but no, really, see, that's the whole thing about the roadmap. You can see it printed right there on your map. We want to involve up to 25% of our employees in one of these projects, right? And so that's what we're trying to do. So for all of you, Tyler, for Lisa, others that are involved, we really appreciate your involvement. That's how we get the best ideas. But as we're talking about the employee creed or pledge, this is one of my favorite bus stops or mile markers to talk about, because this idea actually came from one of our employees. This wasn't even on management's radar, if you will, when we were putting the roadmap together, but it came from one of the employees. It was like this idea of a creed or how we're going to conduct ourselves. So let's see what kind of progress we've made in developing the pledge. So again, going to the scorecard, try to demonstrate what we're delivering in terms of roadmap. The first mile marker here was to create an employee pledge. You heard from the project team. They've actually worked on 2 different options, 2 different pledge options. Tyler, are we right on that? So the idea is the team came up with 2 different pledges, and then of course those pledges will be presented to you all, to all Embark employees, to vote on and select which pledge we want to get behind and make part of our organization. So both of those are en route, right? They're almost done. Then the second mile marker is to actually launch that employee pledge, right? We don't want to just come up with an employee pledge, have a memo, a piece of paper on the bulletin board. No, we want to make a big deal out of it, right? Because the employees select it. So we want to have a full launch campaign. And of course, we can't do that until we actually select a pledge. So that's why you see announcing the employee pledge and then launching that campaign. Those are holding, right? So they're on hold. And then finally, we have launched the public education campaign. And again, it also is on hold because we haven't selected the pledge. But we are going out and taking a bit of a risk here with this employee pledge, or this way we're going to conduct ourselves. And that is, we are going to publicize to our customers, when you do business with Embark, this is what you can expect. This is how we hold ourselves accountable. But the benefit to all of us in this room, especially our bus operators, supervisors, those interacting directly with our customers, is the fact that if we're going to take a little bit of a risk and say this is how we're going to conduct ourselves, then that strengthens our ability as an organization to say, hey, you know what, customers, we expect a certain amount of behavior from you as well, right? So it's a two-way street. And so that's why there's lots of benefits in my mind to this particular bus stop and the deliverables that you've seen. And again, thanks to all that are working on this project.
All right. So we've covered the 3 projects that are en route right now. So it's a lot of information that we've gone through here. And if you've got questions, our navigators are a great resource for you to ask those questions, or any one of us up here. We also wanted to share some other projects that we're working on this year. So we have, the senior leadership team has something called a work plan, and there's 22 projects on that work plan, which is including these 3 that we've just gone through. But we have a few to highlight for you today, just so you kind of stay apprised of what we have going on in the organization. So instead of boring you with 22 projects, we just narrowed it down to the ones that we thought would be of the most interest to you. So the first one we have is the purchase of land for future expansion. So over on the left there is our admin building on South May. And you see the road in the middle there. To the right of that is our proposed land purchase. That's 11 acres that's currently available for purchase. That's Southwest 20th Street there, and then at May Avenue. All right, so you've probably heard some of the rumors going around about the size of the building that we're going to be building on this property. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've heard stories about 10-story buildings and helicopter pads on the top and stuff like that. But we're not doing that. Unfortunately, I don't want to kill people's dreams. I love people that dream big. We're not quite that big with what we're going to be building on this land, but I appreciate the sentiment of dreaming big. We actually truthfully don't know what the size of the building is going to be that we're going to build on this land. We just know we're growing. We're growing quite a bit, and so we do have to have space for all the extra buses that we're going to be purchasing and the extra employees that are going to be coming on board. And so we wanted to grab the opportunity to purchase this land next to us so that when we do grow, when we do build, it's just right there. We're keeping the family together. And so we have an agreement in place with the owners to purchase the land. So we're thankful that we've been able to lock down that land. And then with the MAPS 4 funding coming through, we'll be able to purchase that land probably in the next few months. So we do have this land that we'll be able to purchase. And then going forward, we'll start working with an architect and engineer to think about what is this building size going to be. So that's coming down the road.
So I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about a couple other projects we got going on. So the first one we're going to talk about is a bus shelter cleaning program. So this is a program that we're rolling out here in the next couple of months. Essentially, it's going to, the initial program is going to have 1 supervisor and 3 hourly employees. They'll be going out, picking up the trash at all of our bus stops, making sure that they are maintained correctly. So they'll be, kind of their duties would be they will go out, collect the trash. If, say, a shelter or a bus bench is broken, they will initiate a work order, and we have a contractor that would come out, replace that glass or replace that bench for us, or say a bus stop sign is missing and they'd come out and replace that bus stop sign. And then also generate and close out work orders for repairs. And then also the bus stop assessment. So this is really, really important for us, right? So they're going to go out, do these bus stop assessments to make sure that they're meeting our standard, right? So the last thing we want is for somebody to drive by and see a busted bench or a busted shelter or anything like that. So we're going to keep constant tabs on our shelters and on our bus stops to make sure they're meeting our standard of what we anticipate public transit to look like in Oklahoma City, right? Everybody works so hard to make sure our buses are clean. We're providing the best service that we can. Well, we want to make sure that goes across the entire agency, including our bus stops. So our next project is the BRT. Before I jump into this, I wanted to take an opportunity to publicly thank Marilyn for all of her help that she's helped me with on this BRT project. So just thank you, Marilyn, for all your help. So there's lots of times where I can't attend a meeting. Marilyn jumps in and fills in for me, and I just couldn't do it without her. But so where are we on the BRT project? So Back in October, we received our 30% design. So with any capital project, there's the engineering phase. And so with these capital projects, the city standard is that we will receive a 30% review set, a 60% review set, a 95% review set, and then finally construction documents. So we received our 30% back in October. We just received our 60% review in July. So we sent that out to all the different departments to provide input on those drawings, sent that back to the engineers to continue forward with our engineering process. So now we're moving toward our 95% design submittal back to Embark. But during that course, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be holding utility conferences. And so what that means is we're meeting with public and private utility providers, so like AT&T or the city's water and sewer lines. If there's any water or sewer or any utilities that are under our bus stops, our BRT stops, and need to be relocated, we're working with those different providers to get those relocated so we can build where we anticipate those being built. And then finally, so just kind of speeding through the schedule here, anticipate 100% design in March, and then we'll put it out to bid, anticipate receiving those bids back around April or May, and then issuing a notice to proceed for our general contractor in June of 2022. So it's quickly approaching, getting here before we know it. That's how these things go. So, 6 months ago, we were like, oh yeah, we got plenty of time. And now it's suddenly here, right? It's going to be here before we know it. And then so we'll start construction June of 2022, wrapping up construction July of 2023. And then between July of 2023 and October of 2023, when we go into revenue service, we'll be doing training and testing of the different bus stops and the bus routes and things like that, right? So we want to make sure that we're providing the safest service that we possibly can. And the way you do that is by doing the testing, right? So we're actually, before we go into revenue service, we'll actually do 30 days of non-revenue or preliminary revenue service, which means we'll have bus operators out driving that route with a header panel that says not in service, testing times, testing to make sure that we can properly arrive at the BRT stops, right? Making sure that whenever you're heading out on Northwest Expressway and the sun is in your eyes, that it's not unsafe, right? So we're going to be doing a lot of testing before we actually go into revenue service. Real quickly, to help you familiarize yourself with the routes, we're downtown. We provide service downtown to the transit center, right? So for those connections, so if you ride the BRT, you can also have a connection to the streetcar or have a connection to our other fixed route services. And then going up to 10th, out to Classen up to Northwest Expressway, over to Independence, where we swing down, pick up the Integris or the Baptist Hospital ridership, back to Expressway, and then over to our Northwest terminus at Northwest Expressway and Meridian. We'll be having a park and ride location at that stop. We'll also have a park and ride location at Northwest Expressway and Penn. And then our third park and ride location is downtown at Main and Broadway at the Century Center parking garage that we operate, right? So you'll be able to park in a garage, pick up the BRT, and go out to the northwest side of Oklahoma City. Up in the top left corner here is a quick rendering of what our stops look like. So similar to the streetcar stops, the amenities include a well-lit shelter, a ticket vending machine, right? So when the operators pull up to the bus stop, they don't have to collect fares. They just pull up, open the doors, people are get on and get off, and you purchase your ticket at the platform. Trash collection also at the BRT stops, and then the informational pylon. So anybody that's seen the streetcar stops know that they have a information pylon on those. We'll have one at our BRT stop also. So what that does is that allows you to know when the next 3 buses are going to arrive, so you can help plan your trip a little bit better. And then finally, we're going to have additional lighting at each one of the BRT stops. We're going to have pedestrian lighting leading up to every BRT platform to make it more inviting, make it safer, right? So well-lit areas are always safer. So that's our BRT. Any questions? All right, fantastic. So we're also doing the COA. So anybody who's been to the quarterly trainings, you've heard me talk about the COA several times. We talked about having the operator focus groups. We're going to be holding more operator focus groups coming up in October. Along the bottom here is kind of where we are on the schedule. So right, we've done an existing condition analysis where we've gone out, taken a look at all of our existing routes. We've done the scenario planning, and so now we're moving into the next phase, getting closer to the report and development. So like I said, we're going to see more and more operator focus groups and moving into the final recommendation from Nelson Nygaard. So why are we doing this, right? So like any city, things change, right? So different demographics change, and so we want to make sure that we're providing the best service that we possibly can. And so the way you do that is doing surveys, right? So go out and take a look at what is currently in Oklahoma City and adjusting our routes to be able to provide the best service that we possibly can to Oklahoma City. So like the schedule shows, we're getting close to wrapping that up. You guys will see more and more information of the COA as we get closer to wrapping that up and get closer to those operator focus groups. Any questions on the COA? All right.
All right, so for the sake of time, I'll have my comments be really quick, but essentially the RTA, the Regional Transportation Authority of Central Oklahoma, a separate government entity from us and from the city, that group continues to advance high capacity public transit in Oklahoma City and the Oklahoma City region. You can see the map here. This is a vision of the high capacity transit corridors that was adopted by the organization back in April. And hopefully the takeaway here for this group is that Embark continues to serve in a role of lending basically kind of some technical expertise and some administrative expertise to the Regional Transit Authority. So obviously that certainly helps us coordinate transit for the region and continues, as I mentioned earlier, to keep Embark relevant within our community. And then finally, we've got another video for you that will really try to convey some of the achievements that we as a group accomplished, meaning all employees accomplished over the last year. I really hope you enjoy this video. So what'd you guys think? We've been pretty busy the last year, haven't we? Man, and despite, accomplishing all that in a pretty difficult year for us. So congratulations to all you all. We do want to recognize some folks that are with us today that have over 20 plus years of service. I know we recognized a few this morning. If I miss someone, please stand if your name's on the list. But I do see Eric in the back, Eric Wilson, right? 37 years. Give us a wave, Eric. Man, 37. Is that right? You sure that's right? 37? Man. I know. When did you start working? Let's see. We also have Tracy. I saw her here. She loves it when you clap for her. Tracy, congratulations. 30 plus years. Randy was here. He had to leave for a family emergency, but we'll tell him we clap for him. Let's hear it for Randy. 27 years. And did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody on the list? Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to finish up here by talking about, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, is our customer service survey results. So I don't know if you guys know, but we do customer service surveys every year. For those of you that operate buses, you've probably seen some of our survey takers on there getting information from our customers. But here's the thing. The survey that we do, we hire a consulting firm to come in and do this survey for us. It's a statistically valid survey to the 95% confidence level. And the reason why I like talking about it is because really, these results speak to what you all, every one of you all sitting at the table and all of our employees back at headquarters, this speaks to what you all do and how our customers perceive your efforts. And I hope by the time we go through just a few of these, you'll recognize that our customers do think very highly of your efforts. Now, we have a full survey that's available to you. Ask your supervisor, ask me. We can share all the results with you. But we wanted to share a couple of the highlights. So looking at the left-hand side of the screen, overall service ratings. So when we ask our customers, overall, what do you think of Embark services? You can see that 36% answer very satisfied. 34% answered satisfied. That means 70% of the people taking the survey are satisfied with our services. That's a very high number, particularly for the transit industry. You'll notice on the flip side of that, only 8% or less have anything really negative to say, right? And let's face it, there's a few grumpy people no matter where you go, so we're never going to get 100%. So those are really, really good marks. And again, that goes from everybody that's operating a bus, Sean to everybody that's working on a bus, Freddie to everybody that is keeping our facilities clean. So you guys you all make it happen. Now, the other thing I want to focus on a little bit is safety. And we all know safety is our core value. We ask our customers, and it seems like this last year would be a very relevant year to ask our customers about how we're doing in terms of safety. And I think you'll agree we scored very well in that area too. So when we ask customers how safe you feel riding this bus, 79% of our customers feel safe. That's huge. I mean, that's a very, very big number. Safe operation of buses, 78%. Safety at the transit center. I thought I saw Paul, maybe Paul was here earlier. Anyway, safety at the transit center, 73%. And then a question we never thought we would be asking 2 or 3 years ago, COVID procedures while riding. And just dwell on that, just for a second. 82% of the customers using our service felt like the procedures that we had in place in response to COVID were safe. I mean, that's huge. You guys did a great job this year, stepping up. And when I say stepping up, I mean, I know it was extra effort to clean the buses. I know for you bus operators that are in the room, you're having to remind people to, wear masks and social distance and things you never probably thought you'd be doing. But you know what? Y'all did it. Our customers recognized it, and it shows, right? So anyway, that's our customer service survey. I think we've got one more slide for you, and that's really just to wrap it up. We've went a little bit over, but we know Laura's going to do a great job with our next part of our training. And Suzanne, I think maybe you have a few words.
A couple of closing remarks. Patrick, do you mind if I borrow this for just 1 second? So everyone has at their table this sheet of paper, and this is a survey for you to complete. And we're asking for you to just give your honest feedback on this coordinates event because we're going to be having this twice a year now. So our next one in February, we'll rely on you guys to give us some feedback. We know the first time doing anything, you're not going to hit 100% perfect. So we want to know, what do we do that we need to do different next time? Or keep doing, this thing worked really well, or man, please don't ever do that again. Maybe some of our jokes, for example, they're not the best. So we'll work on that material. But if you'll fill out this survey, you don't have to write your name on it, but just fill it out. And at the end of the session, when you're leaving, give it to Tisha Lewis over here in the corner or Heather Pageon, either one of them. And we'd appreciate your honest feedback. And so we did cover quite a bit in this particular part of the coordinates event. We've got Laura coming up, but I do want to just kind of make a closing remark to say thank you so much for coming to be with us together. We love that we got to have facilities and admin and operations all together, mixed in one room instead of having it so siloed. So we're really grateful for that. And we did cover quite a bit of information. I know you're not going to remember all of it, but here's what I do want you to remember. And Jason, I think I speak for you, and Jesse, you as well. We want you to remember that the most important thing you can take away today is that you, everyone in this room as individuals, are why and how we will be able to accomplish what we accomplish. If anyone sits down for the day, so to speak, and doesn't show up and bring it, you impact the whole organization. And the same thing goes for when you do come and you bring your all, you do your best, you impact the whole organization, which includes our customers. So we really do want you guys to remember, you're the reason we can do any of the things that we've accomplished this year. It's because of you. And I'm trying to make eye contact with you all throughout the room because I really want you to hear the sincerity in that if you're waiting on somebody else to make it a great place to work, you're going to be waiting a long time. If we all had that mentality, we won't have a great place to work. So each one of us has to own that and do our part to create a great place to work and do our part to make it a good experience for our customers. So I just want to thank you guys again for everything that you've done this past year. You guys are phenomenal, awesome people to be a part of.